Oh, it actually worked. I'm live. So a half an hour late is not bad for getting back on the horse. I'm going to do a quick reading for today, December 5th. So how is everybody doing? We just had a full moon, a super moon in Gemini. And for me, it made the emotional and the mental thing like really, really revved up and larger than life at 4:30 morning. So I contacted my friend in Senegal because it was 10:30 for her, and she talked me down from the cliff. And I'm having a great day now. So maybe that super moon can open us up and help us to connect with each other and have wonderful conversations, which happened. Had coffee with one of my dearest friends, and it was absolutely wonderful. So let's look at today. We have an 8 of spades, the Queen of clubs. Where are you, Dr. Sue? And the 10 of spades. Okay, so I usually look at these like long range, Pluto, and result. So if the long range card for today is the 8 of spades, that means it's a day of strength and resolve and action, which so far so good. I'm here. Discipline is another key word for this card. What is the Pluto? The mind. And the feminine mind may be intuition gone awry, or with this full moon in Gemini, maybe making things a little wonky. I would say favor action today above gut feeling or intuitions, which I usually never say. That is so not my style, but that's where I'm finding the energies today. And then I think like resolving this is, I think it brings up questions of caretaking. She's a very nurturing card. She's also impatient, a little sticky with people and relationships. So maybe watch that a little bit. And then the result is the 10 of spades. Thank you for that thumbs up. And then the 10 of spades is success and actually achieving. Cosmic Sunflower, hey, so nice to see you here. So the 10 of spades is a very good result for pushing through maybe illusions of the mind a little bit, taking action, moving forward. Does this resonate with you so far? And the card on the bottom is the 9 of diamonds, which is major let go. It's a card of surrender and letting go. It can represent like financial losses and money going out and that kind of thing. But to me, this is surrender, letting go, go with the flow. Ask what is the song that the universe is singing right now? Are you attuned to it? Are you letting it happen? Are you in harmony with it? Jeannie, hi, I could not find the live for the life of me. It wasn't showing up on my end. Well, I didn't schedule a live. I just did a post because my computer, everything was just kind of wonky. So I just ended up doing a post to say, hey, I'll see you at 12:30, and it ended up being 1, but whatever, right? So I said we were going to discuss the kings today. So let's start with the King of Clubs, because that is today. And that's what kind of got me thinking about all of this. So the question that came up to me, and we don't have to explore this, but it's kind of on the negative. It's like, what are the liabilities? What is the Achilles heel for the king? And as odd as this may seem, I think it's self-doubt. And I went through all of the kings that I know, and they all have that self-doubt that they have to work through. The King of Clubs is arrived at by learning to value your own subjective take on things, and then learning how to extend that in the form of honoring others. But usually there's this big arrogance, which is just, I never really thought about this, but it's just the compensation for maybe I'm not really sure I think this or believe this. So I have to persuade, I have to kind of be bullheaded about my perspective. But when you really gain that deep internal confidence about your own take on things, and if you're a club, this is your archetype, then You can be more gracious. Okay, so moving on to another king. Let's take the King of Spades. I'm just going to jump around. My mom was the King of Spades and definitely dealt with massive self-doubt. And I think this is true of the kings too. When they enter a room, you feel their power, their presence, you feel the kind of largesse of their spirit. And they are not always inhabiting that. They're not always believing in and trusting themselves and showing up in a way that says, yeah, I've got all this power and I'm aware of it. Kind of in general have to deal with a lot of betrayal. They mirror every king story ever told. Oh, that's very interesting. My mom definitely had to deal with many, many, many betrayals. My dad was an ace of diamonds and had serial affairs. And there was a massive betrayal piece that she had to deal with. So that's right on. And plus, they have that seven of hearts in their hand as, let's see, Neptune. Um, yeah, maybe illusions about the perfect love. She definitely had that. Like there was I call it the Neverman fantasy who will meet all of my needs and be perfect, but he never showed up. And then that fantasy would get held up alongside her husband, or whoever. And so disappointment was the lesson and the teaching. So yeah, Achilles' heel for the King of Spades also is, and if this shows up for you, questions of what am I responsible for and what am I not responsible for? That's my litany. You hear me say that over and over again. But when it does, hey, cheerio, hero, nice to see you. I haven't seen you here before. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh, responsibility. So people that have that strong King of Spades influence, I see them both shirking and taking responsibility excessively. So this is pertinent for the Six of Clubs because they have the King of Spades as their Saturn card. So I always think of them as being like tangential members of the Circle of Seven because they've got this karmic King of Spades to deal with. And I always think when one of the Circle of Seven shows up, all are present. So take your pick. And I've always had very karmic relationships with Six of Clubs. And that's one thing that I observed is that either there was, I'm responsible for everything. I dated one that said, I think I should be the president. I think I'd be a really good president. He probably would have been. And he also took way more responsibility than he needed. But it was nice to see a man stepping up too. And then there was another Six of Clubs that we lived with, and he was just kind of a playboy and just never wanted to step up to the plate and just always kind of wanted to. And he's continuing in that, continuing to just sort of sneakily push things off on other people and not really own up to stuff. So, anyway, moving on to another king, King of Hearts. So, what I've noticed with this card too is this kind of division between especially the men that are the King of Hearts. Either they're going to be very strong and willing to really show up in relationship. They've got that Two of Hearts in their moon position. So they're very connective. And that connectedness can go either way in terms of taking responsibility or shirking responsibility. And I've seen men in the King of Hearts category who are just completely dominated by the woman in their lives. And I've always found that really odd. I've also encountered King of Clubs that are so unsure of themselves, they have to consult a psychic or the cards about everything. And I think that's really the shadow side that sits under there. Can I step into my power? So their life path is about power, leadership, control. Can I step into this and responsibility? So they were probably not a king in a previous life, and they've got to figure out how to manage all that power that they just carry within themselves, and they may or may not want it or be aware of it. And so if you encounter a king, try to cut them that slack. that they've got a lot of power and they might not want that power or know how to deal with it. It's not like I've ever been this card before. It's not like I know what I'm doing. It's not like I came in with the rule book memorized. Very few people have a sense of really being inhabiting their card. It's always a path. My son is a king of clubs. He's very dependent and insecure. Oh, that is so interesting. Yeah, because as a boy, he's more aligned with the jack of clubs, and all male clubs will align with the jack. Well, all males align with the jack before they figure out the king. So that jack of clubs, yeah, they're clever, they're charming, they're really funny, but they're also kind of non-attached. They have the first three cards in their descending hand. I have named I forgot my original name and I can never remember it, but it's like a crisis of confidence. The seven of spades is the pessimism. Things are always going to go wrong, or there's a lot of reasons why things haven't gone right for me. The nine of diamonds is poor self-esteem. I don't have what it takes. There's something lacking. There's something inherently wrong with me. Those are all nine things. And then the two of clubs in Mars can be I'm always at odds with people. I need to fight. The two of clubs in Mars, it can be negotiation and effective conversation, but it can also be aggression and frustration. And I dated a jack of clubs, and it's like he was always figuring out how he was the victim of somebody or something, and then like so angry about it all the time. But then their Jupiter card is the king of clubs, which means they will graduate eventually to the king of clubs in the principal's office all the time, pessimistic. Oh, that is so difficult. And part of that is that he's got a lot of power and he doesn't know how to deal with it. And it's like driving a red car. The police are going to notice you. You're driving around in this king outfit and people are going to be like, and then all their power issues come up and like, oh, I have to reckon with this power. And so sometimes they're dealing with a lot of stuff that isn't theirs. Um, but yes, Cheerio Hero, you definitely need to have hope about all of this because, well, every card is its own hero's journey, and figuring out, how to be that and resolve all the issues. So the King of Clubs sits in Uranus, which is all about being egalitarian, honoring the community, honoring everybody else. It can be a very strong detachment, but it can also be non-attachment. So it's supposed to work itself into a kind of friendliness. Its karma card is the two of spades, which is friendship, and they really, really do get friendship and how to show up for somebody else in a physical way. And I love to tell this story, but I had a friend who was the king of clubs, and she dated a guy briefly, a real surface kind of thing, and he ended up going to Thailand and ending up in a Thai prison on a drug charge. She flew over there and got him out of jail. So the king of clubs really can move into this incredibly realized space because they have all spades under their entire descending hand. So they really do eventually move into a kind of right brain, left brain balance. Okay, my guides are telling me to give you some guidance about your son. Tell him to pay attention to his dreams. That's coming from your guides. I don't think that's not typically a king of clubs thing, but tell him to pay attention to his dreams. And maybe I'm thinking dreams at night because his Mercury card is Neptune, Uranus. That's the intersection. So maybe gaining intuitive guidance from a different source and not just logic. One other thing about the King of Clubs is that in the pure spread, it occupies a Jupiter Saturn intersection. Jupiter he's visited you in your dreams. So he's got that ability. He's got a connection going on there that can help inform him about how to live his life. Interesting. Maybe even start a dream journal. So In the pure spread, inhabiting Jupiter and Saturn, Jupiter is the visionary, the possibilities, the positivity, I know where we're going. And then the Saturn has the opposite energy of pulling back and assessment and troubleshooting. And when you put those two together, they don't have to be at odds. They can be an engine of like expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction. And if you know a three of spades or a six of diamonds or an eight of spades, they all share that conjunction in either the pure spread or the mundane spread. So they can be incredible action people that really get a lot of stuff done. Okay, thank you for your participation. Okay, so next is the King of Diamonds. Last is the King of Diamonds. So all you diamond people out there, the King of Diamonds is about integrity. It is the least likely to shirk responsibility. And I've actually noticed this about the Jack of Diamonds too. I think he's the most mature Jack, not the Jack of Spades. They can grow into that, but the Jack of Diamonds, the King of Diamonds, they seem to have a sense of what's important to them. And they tend to be a little more grown up. Even my son, as a Jack of Diamonds, he would be mischievous, but it wasn't like he could be a little troublemaker. But not only was he very clever about it, it was always kind of within the bounds of like it wasn't destructive. They seem to have a bit more of a conscience. So anyway, what else can we say about the King of Diamonds? What is their crisis or their Achilles heel? Let's see, what's their Saturn? I think it's the Eight of Clubs. Yeah, it's the Eight of Clubs. So I think that they can pretend that they know more than they do. They can be sermonizing. All diamonds can be sermonizing, pontificating. But the Eight of Clubs can be very rigid about what they believe and what they think, very fixed. And I think that they inevitably are going to draw karma to themselves or come in with that karma because, like the Six of Clubs, they have a Circle of Seven card in their Saturn position. So it sort of gives them karmic access to the Circle of Seven. So I've had a lot of connections with King of Diamonds, and I've generally found them to be responsible people of integrity that are fairly easy to deal with. Another nickname that I give that card is the cheerleader. They have an inherent ability to really uplift and encourage others and give them the message, you can do this, you've got this. Let's see, they inhabit Mars, Mercury. Yeah, I never thought about them heading up the Mercury line, but they do. So by heading up, I mean they're in the vertical Mercury, the first one if you're reading from right to left. So the cards in that line, I've noticed, tend to really have a voice. The Queen of Diamonds, further down, heads up the Saturn line, and she really is a voice for the truth and the things that are difficult to hear. So maybe the Mercury Mars, they have a voice for what needs to get done. They're very pragmatic. Let's see, they're gifted communicators. What was that? The other thing I was okay, karma to the Seven of Spades, that is Jupiter, Uranus. So the Jupiter allows them to see the bigger picture. And sometimes I think they shoot over the mark. By that, I mean, it's hard for them to see maybe what people can and can't do. Like there's this expectation that people can get on board with their vision and what they feel is possible. And I think they must be disappointed a lot because not everybody's up to their, I don't know, speed or strength level in terms of getting stuff done. So Anyway, if you have any more comments on kings or kings in life, let me know, or let me know what your card is. If you have a specific question, I didn't put it in the headline, but these are always Q&A. You know, everybody is just welcome to ask questions about what's going on. Also, little Christmas special that I'm running, 2 Christmas specials, and I put it on Instagram. I got a bunch of likes, but no response. But anyway, it's half off. One of them is the Cosmic Connection reading, where I get your birthday and the other person's birthday, and then I look at the cards, and it's all via email. It's usually $45, and it's a 2-for-1. And sometimes there's a little exchange back and forth via email where you just give me a few details, and then I just do my intuitive thing. And I very often see past lives and what has brought you to this place. And I look at all the planetary influences from the past and the present. What are you working on this time? What were your challenges last time? How is that influencing your sense of each other in the present? And those are so much fun for me to do. I absolutely love them. I've gotten some really great feedback. And it seems like, oh, you want to do it? Fantastic. Okay, go to my website, which is listed in the comments below, the description below, and just look for Cosmic Connection. And then it'll show you how to make contact with me. And then we'll just make the exchange. We'll just schedule it, via texting and that kind of thing. But it would be fun for you to like get one reading between you and someone else, and then maybe give another one as a gift. Okay, the other special I'm offering is a reading. So normally it's $180 an hour for a reading, and it's another twofer. So one for yourself and one to be redeemed at any point within the following year. So anyway, yeah, some really great offerings. And I would really love to be doing more readings. They've just kind of fallen off. I've had a lot of chaos in my life. We've moved, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on for everybody. Have you just noticed how incredibly intense it is lately? I call it the purge. And in my other channel, I post whenever I'm kind of clear that, oh, there's this thing going on, and I've seen a bunch of people that are being affected in the same way. I usually make a video about it. And that's in my personal channel, which is just my name, which I think you can find through this channel, Paula Krueger. So anyway, well, that's it for today, unless we get any other feedback. It is so nice to be rejoining you, and hopefully I will see you next Tuesday at, yes, my husband is like, you better do this. And I do. I do need to do it. So Tuesday at 1 next week. So have a really great weekend, and thank you so much for your participation. And yeah, have a great weekend. Bye.